Right, welcome to another episode this week of Work the Left Side. I'm so hyped to announce the guest for tonight. It is Taj, obviously head honcho for Tidal Wrestling. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
That's all right. It is my absolute pleasure. Obviously, I had the pleasure of meeting you a few weeks ago at True Grits while she was plugging the next Tidal show. Obviously spoken to you on and off for several months prior to that, just discussing Tidal. Always try and big you guys up as much as possible because I think what you're doing is awesome. So yeah, how you been? How you finding it?
Thank you. It's been a journey. In more than one way, going from south to north, but yeah, it's all a learning process. And yeah, I'm very blessed to have the team I have around me. I'm blessed to have the support and the fan base that we are having and we have. I'm always honoured to talk to people at the show, speak to, like you and Jonas, and talk about wrestling. I love it.
That's what we're here for, obviously. I mean, obviously you got into doing what you do because you enjoy wrestling. You'd be crazy to do it otherwise. It's not like you're doing it because it's to make a shed load of money. It's you're there to enjoy and embrace the atmosphere and be a fan as well, I presume.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Stacey Keebler said she's always going to be a wrestling fan, to put it in short. And yeah, absolutely, 100% agree with that. I was a fan. I am a fan. And I look at it from a fan point of view as well. So I see Tidal as something I would want to go to. It's complete honour to have people there to talk to, and it's for the love of wrestling.
Well, I mean, obviously, just to mention a show previously, I presume you had your hand in on this. You had the wrestling show, and then there was a music gig on straight afterwards. I don't know if that was your doing as well, or if it just fell very nicely.
No, I have experience of working at music venue and promoting bands and things like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted the last year to finish with a big party. It was a complete honour. Again, I'm so honoured to be in the position I am and to have the wrestling show followed by, Intercity, Handsome Liars, and Fat Lip, and it's an honour. Music and wrestling go hand in hand. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Exactly. And obviously, if anybody's not aware, obviously one of the bands you mentioned there would have been Scotty's band, who is obviously your champion now.
Yeah, he's the title chief.
We'll discuss who he dethroned later on. I'm not going to sour the mood at the start of the conversation. We'll get to that later on. But obviously, yeah, I think it was the same night that Scotty won the title, wasn't it? You then had the music gig on straight afterwards. So, you probably gave him extra oomph to get up there and perform, and he was celebrating a title victory at the same time.
Absolutely. And when he won, it was a beautiful sight to see, Lucy and his mum go up there. And he did an awesome speech where, he said, everybody's welcome. This is the place for everyone to come to, and that's exactly what I want from a champ. And then have the bands downstairs, and yeah, it was a very good night. He deserved to be champion, and it was an awesome night. Definitely one of my best days of last year, maybe one of my best days of my life as well. It was a momentous occasion in many ways.
I think it's definitely one of the memorable moments of 2023 for Tidal. Obviously there were loads, but that's got to be up there. But obviously that was last year. You know, a week on Saturday, you're going down south, which is back into your. You mentioned earlier about coming from south to north. Well, next Saturday you're going north to south. Looking forward to it.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the amount of bands I've seen at New Cross Inn, and Tidal was there a few years ago, and I was there. Yeah, it's sometimes I have to pinch myself, you know, like it's. And then to have the show named after two of my previous cats, Goblin and Gollum. I'm really excited. Gonna have family there, gonna have friends, gonna have, you know, the Talents family there, which is a huge thing for me. Family is a big thing. It's really special. I know that's gonna be a day where I wish I could just keep pressing pause. You know, when you have those moments and you're like, I just want this day to last forever.
You just want to bottle it, and there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, obviously.
Sorry, I was going to say it's going to be my nephew's first wrestling show as well. Yeah. He's asking me, "Are you a wrestler? Are you this?" And I'm like, "No."
I'm in charge of the wrestlers. That's what you are. You're like, you know, you're the head honcho. You know, they have to respect your authority. But obviously, yeah, the London show. I mean, I've seen the card, and I've shared the card. Look, you know, every match on it looks. You've got the Iron Will tournament going on, which has got some absolute potential bangers. Adonis finally gets his chance at redemption against Bullets. This one sits good with me because it was last year. I literally had him on the show. I think a week after he got done over by Bullet at a Tidal show. So it's fresh. It's always in my head because we talked about it a lot. Then as soon as I saw that match announced, I was like, yes, here we go. You know, time for Mr. Payne to shine.
Yeah, I mean, I can only see him going from strength to strength. The amount of work that he puts in, there's huge amount of respect. You know, just his outlook as well. He's definitely one to look out for.
Oh, I fully agree. And I think, again, you know, I've said it a few times, anybody who knows this channel, follows me on socials, knows I'm a massive mark for, you know, Adonis. I think the guys, I tweeted a picture at the start of last year with him and a picture towards the end of the year. And you can just see the hard work and dedication, you know, not just in his in-ring work, but his overall look as well. The dude's transformed himself and he looks like a wrestler kind of thing.
Absolutely. Even the way that, you know, when you have conversations with him and his outlook and just the way he talks, it sounds like a champion, you know. He's done so much work and you can see it, like you said. You put the two pictures of him now and 5 years ago, nothing but respect.
Crazy, isn't it? But I mean, obviously, you know, you've got Adonis, we mentioned Bullet, we've talked about the champ, obviously Scotty. But, I mean, you've got a solid roster, top to bottom. I mean, obviously Sam Gradwell, Vusyk. At the last show, you had, you know, the rematch between them two. I think you've got two guys there. You know, you could just literally have fight forever, and the fans would be quite happy.
Oh my God! So coming into this, you know, wrestling business, there's certain people that are gonna, you know, stand out for different people for different reasons. But Sam Gradwell's always been one of the people, you know, right behind me. His advice is always so valuable. And then you've got the Tidal Terminator. Yeah, exactly. And him versus Bauer at the show next week. That's going to be interesting. I don't know what to say, but because everybody's going to think, oh my God, she's just honoured. She's just completely honoured. But like, I am honoured, you know, for the talent I've had on, like, you know, Nina Samuels, Trivet, HT Drake is a big thing. The amount of work that he puts in, complete underdog, and the amount of people that have done different bits. It's even though wrestling's a journey, it's we're all in it together. When certain things happen, we all come together as a community, and I've got nothing but good things to say about the people that have been on my show, and Sam Gradwell and RPD have a match coming up soon as well in a different promotion, and again RPD is one of the people that has been solid with me, and I'm like, I don't know who to choose, but I love Tidal, but I also love going to other shows, and I'm like, oh my god, how do I choose? And then you got Real Wrestling and Jane going, oh my god, pick, and I'm like giving emojis like, I can't pick, I don't know what to do.
Oh no. If you, I know, again, if anybody who watches the show, follows the show, RPD, he was the only 3-time guest for Work the Left Side. Nothing but love for that guy. I'm honestly generally fingers crossed hoping somebody books him over here soon, so I don't have to go all the way over there to see him. I'd like to see him break out of, I just want to see him dominate Yorkshire at some point. I think the guy's just more than capable. But yeah, RPD versus Sam at Grand GPW. For anybody who's interested, in a couple of months, it's going to be an awesome show, awesome match. That's the thing. That's what I like about you as well, though. You give that vibe of, I know you go to other shows. I've seen you take pictures at other shows at other promotions. You are a fan. You know what I mean? You're doing this for the love of the business, kind of thing, and that shines. Your enthusiasm. It's just very genuine. So there you go. That's a compliment for you there. I just want to put that out there and say nice things. So besides Tidal, what shows, what promotions that, not promotions, I'm not asking you to name promotions, but, do you try and get out to as many other shows as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go to a lot more. I'm not like Wrestling Jeebus, unfortunately. Big respect to him. But yeah, you've got, DJ King doing his show over in Runcorn. You got OTP as well, which is Ben's promotion in Warrington. You got TNT, you got Progress. I'm kind of like near Liverpool, so I'm lucky to be able to go to quite a few. But yeah, I'd love to go to more. There's just not enough time in the week.
That's it, exactly. You've got to kind of limit to what you get to, so you kind of got to pick and choose. I know you obviously you've been to Planet Wrestle previously. I've seen you take photos at a Planet Wrestle show before.
Planet Wrestle, absolutely loves. Sorry, I absolutely love Planet Wrestle. Jake is a legend. Planet Wrestle, the talent that they have there, like the Freak Show. I'm not going to say Natalie Sykes, after she attacked me. Let's not go there. Chili Heatwave, you've got the Music Man, there's other people there. Just, it's endless. That is a special promotion. That's actually one of my favourite ones. I love it there.
Again, it's a very different vibe. That's what I love about the British wrestling scene, is just the versatility. You can go to this show, you can go to that show. You can go to Planet Wrestling. It's just fun. It's like very family. It's as close as you're going to get to the camp sightseeing without going to Butlins or something kind of thing. It's just a very fun atmosphere.
Yeah, I love that atmosphere there. That's one of the things I think is really important at a wrestling show, is the atmosphere. This feeling like you can just, be yourself and you can just relax and put it on the show. And I've always found that. I've been to 2 now. It's definitely one of my favourites to go to.
I think to me a good wrestling show. So I'm not doing it as much nowadays because I'm kind of try and get as many people to go to the shows as possible. But back in the day, Tidal actually, it's under previous management when they used to be at Leeds Uni. I used to go to those shows on my Todd all the time. But a good wrestling show, I always thought, you can go to by yourself because you're going to be surrounded by people, and you're all there for the same reason. So it doesn't matter if you go with 10 people, if you go by yourself.
Yeah.
You're with the family when you're there, kind of thing.
When Clash of the Castle was in Cardiff, I went to some of that by myself, actually. The Friday night, I went to the Undertaker talk. And I was there by myself. And then I met up with some friends on the Saturday, Sunday. I actually did 3 shows, including ICW on the Saturday. But yeah, no, wrestling is one of those places I've always found that is home, Obviously Tidal's special to me because it's, it's me and the team, but I've been a fan ever since I can remember. Like, it's always been part of my life. It's been like a birthday. It's been like a Christmas. Like, I don't know my life without wrestling. I went to see it live, and I was just 6 years old back in 1991. And I still got the program from Rampage Tour. So, yeah, it's always been there, and wrestling is wrestling. But the other thing is, whether it's at one wrestling show up north or down south, you can feel the community. There's something special about wrestling fans.
I'm not going to disagree. Like I sort of said, I just think you can, because you're all there for the same reason. So whether you go by yourself or you go with a group of people, once you're there, you're part of a group. So whether you're there by yourself, it's just, I just love it. And everybody's just so focused on what's going on in the ring. Obviously the talent should have you in the palm of their hand, so you're reacting when they want you to react, and you're just having a good time. That to me is just the sign of a good wrestling show. I've been to a few that have it's been like, don't feel overly comfortable, but if it's a good show, you just, not to sound like to sound cliched, but you lose yourself in the moments. I'm not going to start rapping or anything, but you lose yourself in the moments. You're there.
Absolutely. Like, when I hear people say, "Oh, you know what? I've really been looking forward to this Tidal show," or "That's exactly what I needed," it takes me back, because I'm like, "Thank you for being, so honest with me, and thank you for coming." It's it's special. Absolutely.
You kind of led me into an obvious question. We've talked about you being a wrestling fan. You mentioned there, 6 years old, first show. Have you always kind of had the love for it, or did you do the same as like 87% of people, where when you get to about 15, 16, you kind of dip out of it and then you come back in at about 20, 21? Or did you stay strong and go straight through?
Yeah, I kind of pretty much stayed strong. Nice. There's always something that I always just gravitated towards. It was always like a calling to me. I was a big Undertaker fan, and seeing his his legacy be built, it's always there. And like, I remember even the music I used to love. I used to have a dartboard, and I'd listen to D-Generation X and things like that, Humilities, and I would just play darts by myself, like listening to that music.
I had the albums. You had like the Pump Up the the music volumes 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the anthology with all the last 20 years worth of music. Back in, they used to hate me at times, but I used to work at Sports Soccer back in the day, or Sports Direct, whatever you want to call it now. And I would be in charge after the door shut, which basically meant I had control of the music that played. So it was like, out comes the shop music, on goes the wrestling music. We've got wrestling music on for an hour while we tidy up. And you will like it. If you don't like it, work faster. You can go home. Well, I was just like, yes. just walking around the shop, just randomly listening to wrestling music. It was awesome. So
I still do that, like walking down the street, have a little bop, and I've got D-Generation X, like, and it's just you, or like AJ Styles, you don't want none, like.
I've got to be careful though, because my walk differs depending on what music I'm listening to. So if I'm listening to like some wrestling music comes on, if the Austin music theme tune comes on, I've got my headphones in. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh crap, no, I look like I'm looking for trouble kind of thing. It's like my shoulders go up and back. I'm like, no, right, put something a bit more chilled on. There we go. I'm just casually strut. There we go. Better now.
Yeah. And like, Shinsuke Nakamura's theme tune, yeah, that is sick. And also, like, even, exactly. And the Kabuki Warriors as well. And I'm like listening to it. And I'm like thinking all sorts in my head. And I'm like, people don't know what's going on, but I feel like I'm projecting it. But I'm like, no, baby, let's just put it.
That's it. It's like, yeah, I've done it before. I've just been walking down the street. I think I must admit, I've been a few weeks ago. I think I was listening to a Glorious, the old Bobby Roode theme. I was walking down the street and all of a sudden I was just like that. I was like, if anybody just saw me, I was just randomly throwing my arms out. And I was like, well, I must have looked like a right freaking idiot. But in the time, I just generally didn't care.
I think I've got to the age where, if I hear, Randy Orton's song and I want to do the pose, I probably will.
Walking down the street, like.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. But that's awesome. So, I mean, obviously, back in the day, you mentioned, being an Undertaker fan. So, obviously, a WWE fan. Did you kind of branch out? Did you do like the TNA stuff, the Ring of Honor stuff, or was it just WWE?
Yeah, I mean, I did watch a little bit of WCW. I did go and see TNA on the UK tour. Yeah, I think I was always WWE. And it was only I think it was like 2000. Trying to think about when it was actually. I think it was like around 2014 when I started going to, or 2015 when I started going to Progress and started watching more indie shows. And then I realised actually there's a lot more passion to it and there's a lot more freedom. And I started enjoying indie shows more. I mean, WWE, is great. I'm not saying that, but like, there's something special about seeing the promotions in the UK as well, seeing them grow, seeing the people go on to be on WWE, and just the different promotions working with each other, and just there's something special about it, and I think it was more indies.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the indies, it's like you sort of said, it's the connection you make with the talent, seeing it, every month or every 3 months, depending on how often the shows are, being invested in the storylines because you're there in person. It just takes it up a level. I know people who will only go to live shows, they just enjoy the atmosphere and watching it live. And they kind of get bored watching it on TV, but you take them to a show in person and they're just out there absolutely going nuts at it kind of thing. So it definitely does offer, the next level.
Yeah, there's something really special about it.
But, right, so I've got to ask, obviously, it's one of those subjects that kind of divides people. I always kind of like to try and pick people's brains on it when it's appropriate or, when they've got some kind of power behind it. Storylines, moments, what pops you more, like an amazing 5-star exhibition match or, the climax of a really good story?
I think it's the different, like, elements of the moments, the things that lead up to different things. So when people were backing Daniel Bryan, for example, and their voices were being heard, that was special. When people started getting behind, other wrestlers that wouldn't necessarily have done well without the voices of the fans. there's definitely an acknowledgement there. Those moments are always special to me.
Like I said, yeah, I think obviously wrestling it's a collection of moments. It's the building of a story. I love the exhibition matches; they're great, but it's the moments you remember. It's the it's the storylines you remember.
Yeah, I mean, I think in life and in wrestling, it's always the way that something makes you feel.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like taking you back to either your childhood or like I remember when the streak got broken and I was there and I remember how gutted I was, and like it's the moments that kind of put it together. So it's just different elements, and it's remembering where you were at certain times.
That's the thing, because I don't even really remember the match or that well. I remember bits of it, but it was the result that you remember, kind of thing. It kind of overshadows the match. Like I said, it's just that moment, that bit where generally you have to pinch yourself, like no, that didn't just happen.
Yeah, like I was there for the Raw when Ultimate Warrior did his last speech, and it felt really special at that moment. It's you kind of have to just pinch yourself sometimes. Sami Zayn again, that's one of the people, the voices, Sami Zayn. I think there's something really, really special about fans' voices being heard, because sometimes there's going to be underdogs or people that are smaller or things you don't expect. And when that comes through, their voices come through and they get heard or acknowledged in some way. Like, that's a collectiveness. And there's something really special about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more positives. As long as he's, it's not a Zack Ryder situation where he kind of gets punished for, getting over. Majority of other people, they tend to let him roll with it, like Sammy, Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan. They get pushed and they get rewarded for it. I still just feel bad for poor Zack because he kind of looks like he got punished for getting over. But he's gone on to do all right for himself, so I'll take that back. Actually, I don't feel overly sorry for him.
Sometimes it's what you make it, like Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, that's it. You go out, you get dealt a hand. You try and I think the saying goes, you try and make chicken salad out of shit. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, not you. You're vegan, so you'd make feta salad or something. Not even feta. Some salad.
Cucumber and lettuce.
There we go. That's the one. That's a cucumber salad out of a bad situation. So obviously, when you're working for Tidal, then I presume there's obviously a massive focus on storyline. Things build, things come, build up, they come to a head. But yeah, I like it when British wrestling shows. It's become more of a focus now. I think over the last couple of years is the importance of storytelling.
Absolutely, it's nice to have either an underdog story or something to follow and be invested in. Because it's more than just putting on a wrestling show. Like wrestlers are putting on shows that could potentially do harm to their bodies at the same time. So there's so much passion. It's way more than storylines. It's way more than just wrestlers wrestling. It's like a number of different things. There's so many elements all at once, and the UK are really lucky to have such talented people being on shows. So yeah.
I mentioned this a while ago, and I kind of got a bit of flack. Some people agreed, some people gave me, crap for it. But I honestly, generally, hand on heart, think the British wrestling scene today is the best it's ever been. I think it's better than it was 10 years ago. I think it's better than it was 15 years ago. I just think because of the wealth of talent out there, especially for promoters, you guys don't have to be as concerned about who's winning other shows at certain times. because you've all got your own kind of talent available, you know. And if somebody else has got another show on, fine, you know, they've got the people that they work with, you've got yours. You don't have to be as concerned as you probably would have been like 10 years ago. If that makes sense,
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of talent to choose from, and that's the issue. There's so many talented people, and I wish I could give a lot more of them opportunities. And there's people that I haven't been able to, and I'm gutted for, you know. But it can be quite limited at times. There can only be certain positions and certain matches on. So yeah, we are extremely spoiled.
That's what I mean. That's it's kind of becoming. I think I've worded it before as kind of territorial, where you've got a certain group of people that work Lancashire, a certain group of people that work Yorkshire, you know, down south, northeast, and every now and again, you know, they'll cross over, and it kind of feels special. But you've kind of got your core group. It's like, I think, you know, that's why I think it's special when like Adonis works for you guys, because he doesn't work for many other promotions in Yorkshire, so it stands out when he's at Tidal, kind of thing. So it's the crossing of the lines.
I think that's just me keeping some of my roots as well. I like the Southern wrestlers coming up north, you know, and it still takes me back when people go into me, thank you so much for having me up here, you know, this is the first promotion I've done this for, and you know, and just being really kind in that way. It's an honor to be part, you know, Tidal to be part of their story as well. You know, Artemis, Adonis, Truman, Roswell, Vinny. There's a few, you know, like Alf. I mean, I could go on. That's one of the things I like about Tidal, is that we still keep it as north, but we also have south. Southern wrestlers, and I think that's something we're going to keep doing, and it also adds to like the variety of what Tidal has. It's it's nice to have that there.
No, definitely, it makes you stand out. You know, as you say, you've got this talent that aren't on other promotions in the area. It makes you guys stand out. It puts eyes on the poster. Artemis. You know, we spent a couple of minutes bigging up Adonis. Everything we said about Adonis, I second for Artemis as well. You know, they've put a graft in. They've elevated their work so much over the last year. And yeah, I was hyped to see them. I'm glad to see her being part of the Iron Will tournament. I think she'll come out and absolutely smash it.
So when I was training at Playfight a little bit, Shannon, or shall I say Artemis, was one of the first friends I actually made. And I have seen her at Playfight and, go on to like UBW and, just grow, and just the amount of work that she does, lifting cars and all sorts. I'm so proud of her to be, so hardcore, complete badass. And I can only see her future being bright. Like, she's so talented. She's such a pleasure to talk to and work with. Definitely another one to just look out for. So honoured to have her there as well.
Definitely agree. I think to paraphrase a quote of years ago, I think it was Dave Mastiff said it once about, something might be very cool, but can you lift a car? That's cool. And obviously, shout out to Artemis. She is that cool.
I think from day one, when I first saw her, I was like, this girl is cool. I want to be her friend. And there's no way I want to be on any other side of her.
Keep on this side. Keep it close.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're talking about down south. Seeing Spike Trivet, obviously up here is a massive thing for wrestling fans. I don't want to undersell. Obviously the dude's Progress champion. One of the best in Europe. Just again, he's one of those guys that can just put eyes, on the product and just get people talking. As you mentioned Progress, I know you've got Roots, Progress, you've got Mad Dog, to do general GMing and whatnot for you at Tidal. But yeah, just I can't think of any other way to say it, but kudos, for Spike and Tidal. I think it's just awesome.
Yeah. I remember the first time I saw Spike. It was actually at a Tidal show. I've also seen him at Riptide in Brighton, which I used to love. And it's one of the promotions I actually miss. So hopefully, Tom West, if you're listening, get that back on the road. Spike Trivet is definitely a force to kind of not be reckoned with. So I haven't been a fan ever since I was, ever since I was, I can remember and seeing wrestling live for the first time when I was 6. There is something so special about Spike Trivet. Just the way that he carries himself, the way that he is, absolutely everything. And recently, him and Harley's match, I've got to say, I know it's going to be one of the best matches of this year, but it's definitely one of the best matches I've ever seen live. And to have it at Tidal, like, what? When life passes you by and you've got different moments, I'm probably going to have Harley and Spike and it's going to be like, what? Not him! You can hear the boos and hear the audience, but no, Spike Trivet is extremely, extremely talented and I'm so grateful to have him on the show. And I am not going to say a bad word about him because I don't want to see that other side of him.
No, keep him nice. But yes. Yeah. Spike's just, you say, it's next level. But it's the Tidal. He doesn't stand out like head and shoulders above anybody else. As good as he is, like I said it beforehand about your roster. It's just stacked with talent. We've mentioned Sam before. Sam's up there as being one of the best in Europe, kind of thing. Scotty is. Obviously, we've got a returning Dara Diablo a week on Saturday. Get a title shot against Scotty. The Mr. Bronson looking dude, been out for a year or so with injury. He's coming back. He's a force to be reckoned with. And I think Scotty's going to have his work cut out.
It's going to be a tough match. It's best that I talk about Dara that much. We've not had the best of words on Jono's podcast. I think we should. Yeah.
We'll see what Scotty does with that one. But I'm sure, he's not gonna. He'll be all right. Again, I'm gonna patent this, but hashtag Scotty is awesome. I need to get that on a t-shirt or something at some point with his permission, because it'll be fine. But I'll bring you back up again and we'll talk about some good stuff before I mention somebody else then, because I don't want to double whammy you with the 2 negatives. So you mentioned Harley Hudson there. Obviously Nina Samuels is another huge name, for Tidal. She and Rio last year had a banging match. That must have been special to see as well.
Wow, to have Rio and Nina in the same show and in the same match, yeah, absolutely. 2 complete badasses. They are 2 of the UK's, and I would say Europe's best female wrestlers and wrestlers in general as well. Forget the gender bit. 2 of the best of Europe's wrestlers. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 of the best to lace up the boots. I would fully agree with that. You've got Nina now representing Tidal as champion.
Nina 8 belts.
Again, it just speaks volumes. You know, you can tell a promotion at what level a promotion is, you know, by the people who hold the belts. And I just think, yeah, it's awesome. I mean, obviously, not to besmirch Rio. You know, it was awesome when Rio had it as well. So you've gone from one greatness to another. You know, there's no drop in standards.
You think it's gonna? You think it's gonna work like that, but then Mad Dog had I don't know what he was thinking, but like, Chase the Ace, come on, like, I'm a fan of Chase, but like, what's his name? I can't remember. What's it? You got Nina and Spike are awesome champions. Glad to have two great champions on Tidal.
Two, yep, that's 2.5. Like I say, you like Chase, so we'll count it as 2.5.
Yeah, but recently, even he's been a bit leery on X. You know, I'm like, I don't remember this side of you, but yeah, hope somebody's wearing off on him. It's about the people that you hang out with, isn't it? Really. And then who's the fourth champion out of the Iron Wheel tournament? That's the other thing.
That's it, and I mean, just the names involved in that. You know, obviously, I've got to stay unbiased. You know, I don't try not to sort of favour anybody else on here, but based on conversations earlier, you know, Artemis, I think it's got to be in. You know, for a damn good shout for that. I'll be interested to see. And there's a couple of faces on there that I'm not overly familiar with as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing them and getting to know their stuff. So, Smashing Mike is a name that's jumping out at me as well. I was excited to see him there.
Absolutely, Smashing Mike. He brings it every time. He's in any match.
Another one as well that's kind of pops out on a Tidal show is a man like Doris. Again, he's another guy that I don't see on a lot of promotions around this area. The guy's huge everywhere else, but he's only on like a very select few shows in Yorkshire, so that pops. And if I don't know what the brackets are, but if we get Artemis, Doris in the final,
but Truman, Roswell, and Doris, and that's the Iron Wheel tournament, and for the number one contendership, because there was an 8-man or 8-person scramble last year, and they both won at the same time. So this is going to be the deciding factor as to who's the number one contender. Is it Truman Roswell or is it Doris?
As a promoter, though, you know what I mean? There's no bad situation there. You know, you get Scotty versus Truman, you get Scotty versus Doris. You know, from a promoter's point of view, that's awesome. From a fan's point of view, that's just like, yeah, take my money. You know, I'll give you all my cash now. Just either match. Either match is going to, you know, put bums on seats.
Absolutely. As a fan, as a promoter, that's a match I want to see.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously, yeah, either one of those is going to be awesome. But yeah, Doris, Artemis, if the brackets work out all right, if we could have those two in the final, I'd be quite happy with that. But, you know, again, not to besmirch anyone else.
The March show, so we got Alf and Smashing Mike, and then we've got Bauer versus Vusyk, and we got Artemis versus what's his face Ace, and then we've got Truman Roswell and Doris. But whoever, there's going to be 4 winners, obviously, out of those matches, and all 4 of them go on in the final.
Okay. So I thought I had it in my head like King of the Ring style. I thought it was going to be eliminated down. Okay.
Rules. So I will talk. Yeah, so be interesting to see all 4 finalists at I will. Yeah, March 17th at Huddersfield Parish.
Actually, yeah, totally forgot. You know, Vusyk as well. You know, so again, I've got to be unbiased. You know, I don't want to offend anybody. You know, I might have to approach them at some point and ask them to come on the show, and they'll be like, "No, you said you didn't want me to win." So I'm like, right, I don't. You know, good luck to everyone. May the best person, you know, best 4 people get to March's show. But but secretly, you know, I'm going to be rooting for some people.
Same.
I
think I'm
wow, you know,
rooting for
anybody who's been on the show, they automatically get my support. So Vusyk gets my rooting. Artemis just via coolness, you know, by association with Adonis, you know, she'll get my support. And then everybody else, you know, yeah, have a blast, have fun, and we'll see you in March.
Yeah, there's 7 people out of those 8 wrestlers that I support. Obviously, absolutely love Artemis. So, you know, big up, and I think someone's going to lose some teeth.
Yes, obviously, you know, somebody else has also been on the show, so by default they would kind of, but yeah, you know, there's always the exception to the rule, so you know, we'll let that one slide. And anyway, like I said,
Yeah.
Artemis wins by default. So yeah, you know, we've got the show in February, we've got the show in March. You know, have you got, you know, how do you work this? Do you kind of do a couple of, you know, when you've got it in your head, right? You've got the path laid out, you know, barring any road bumps, you know, injuries and stuff. You know, have you kind of got things set in motion to be like, right, if this happens, and I want this, or is it just like, you know, right, we'll see what happens at the next show, and then we'll do the show after that based on that.
Well, the plan is up until, you know, March, so that's great. And then there's ideas, and there's people that, you know, we know that are going to be there, and there's certain things we kind of want to happen, but can't really say too much about that. Yeah, see it unfold, and yeah, there's certain people
there's unknown factors. Well, so there's unknown factors as well, because like you sort of said, you know, about the Daniel Bryan thing, the Sami Zayn thing, you know, if somebody pops up and the Tidal faithful, you know, get behind them, that's then got to get your brain going and be like, I got it, yeah, you know, the fans are reacting to this person, right? Okay, you know, let's see what they can do.
Yeah. I'm always up for that. I'm always, you know, trying to find out who people like, what they're enjoying, and, you know, what the fans are wanting. And the fans' voice is extremely important to me. Yeah, you have to listen.
That's it. I think, yeah, you know, we talked about it before, you know, with the, you know, the Zack Ryder thing. You know, sometimes, again, that's the logical mindset. Listen to the fans, give them what they want, listen to who they're cheering for, who they're booing for, kind of work with that. But I can imagine some people just being very stubborn about it. You know, you kind of get this thing where, you know, you can imagine Vince being like, no, you'll cheer who I want you to cheer, or you'll boo who I want you to boo. And, you know, they try and force it so much, it just blows up in the face.
Yeah.
It's not logical, is it? You don't do it, do you?
No, it's important, you know. You need to be as authentic as a wrestler, or as a promoter, or as an organization as you can. It's like force feeding people, and we got, you know, our own choices, our own views for a reason. And sometimes the fans know more than, you know, anyone. So listen to that. That's really important. I'd never want to force feed a wrestler to the audience. And it carries out, you know, you hear people reviewing, you hear people talking about them, and you can, you know, people read up on it. We have social media now, so the voices are very clear.
That's it. I mean, how much of a part, you know, again, this is a conversation I've with, you know, people, you know, the importance of it. You know, some people swear by it, some people don't quite get it. But for me, social media is huge in the sense of it's promoting your product, it's promoting, you know, what you can do. So you guys are awesome. You know, I don't know if it's yourself or if you've got people in charge of, you know, Tidal's social media side of things, but you're on the ball. You're very quick to like or repost or, you know, acknowledge stuff. It keeps eyes on what you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, the special thing about Tidal is it's a team, and I always feel like it's all of us, so we're all in this together. And there's certain people that I constantly learning from, and there's always advice now, whereas there wasn't when I first started. There wasn't anyone. I didn't even know anyone up north when I first moved up here. I didn't even know what house I was moving into. You know, I'd not seen anything. Everything was new. I only had my cats. So yeah, I have great advice. I have a great support system. You know, it's great. You know, to have people like Mad Dog and Johners and like, you know, Gradwell. It's, you know, I'm very, very lucky to have them. I'm lucky for the whole team. Like, that's how we function. It's all of us. And, you know, from, you know, the people that are doing the music, you know, like Cara and Connor, and then we got Z and, you know, Milo, and, you know, it's all of us. And like, it's the passion all of us have and the respect mutually that we have. That's something that I will always want to have. Like, it isn't about me being, you know, the owner and me kind of going, this is what it has to be done like. You know, everyone matters. This is all of us. This is all our success. This is a team effort. I can't stress that enough. That's always something that I'm going to be striving for, and it is important to me.
That's it. I mean, that's, you know, that's an amazing way to look at it, and a really good way of doing it as well, because, you know, you all learn from each other. You know, something goes amiss, you know, you've always got a shoulder, you've got a support system. You know, you can. It's just nice to have that. It's not a safety net, but you kind of got that feeling of, right, okay, I'm not doing this by myself. I've got people around me that I can trust, and that just automatically, you know, lightens the load, and it just makes it easier. And if you've got, you know, it sounds like you've got a great team around you. You know, it's obviously not plain sailing. You're always going to get hiccups, but when you do encounter those hiccups, you can do it with more confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I don't mind being my neck being on the line for things. You know, there's always going to be someone, and that person is me, and that's fine. But I'm always going to want to learn. I'm always going to want to grow. And I'm just thankful now that I have a support system and the people that I do around me, and that they see how special it is and they can see me for who I am. So yeah, I'm eternally grateful for that.
Obviously, you mentioned him as being part of the team. You know, by association, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Johners. So to hear him, you know, being part of the team, you're helping out. You know, someone that you can talk to about stuff. That's just amazing to me as well. You know, I've got nothing but love for the guy. Like I say, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him. So, and I always like seeing that you guys do the pre-show chats. It's just fun, you know. Yeah, well, and it's different as well. You don't see that from a lot of promoters. So again, that's something else that's making you guys stand out. And obviously, anytime Mad Dog gets screen time, you know, that's going to be, people are going to be interested. And just, again, he's one of those guys that you can just sit there and watch and listen to, and he's just entertaining.
Absolutely. Entertaining is one word. But yeah, I love that preview show, and the fact that it's live, and the way that the three of us just, you know, bounce off each other. And Johners and Mad Dog, I've said it before, they are two of wrestling's unsung heroes. The amount of work that they do and the respect that they've got in this industry and they've earned. I'm honoured to have, you know, advice, conversations, you know, be their friends, work with them. You know, I'm very, very lucky. Like, it's two awesome people. Yeah, I think they're great. John as well was the first person that interviewed me, and I'm always learning from them. I think that they are respected because of the work that they have done and constantly do, and their characters, as to who they are. It speaks volumes, and I'm honoured to be, working with them.
Yeah, no, ditto. I'll second. Every now and again, I'll just get a voice message off Johners just saying like "well done" or something, and I'm sat there smiling like it's like a small boy who's got like approval from a parent or something. It's like, you like what I've done. I'm so happy. No, I'm so proud.
Happy dance.
Yeah, man. Doing the happy dance, just do the dance of joy. It's like don't fart, do the dance of joy.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's the thing though. It just makes it easier when you've got people around you who you can trust. It's not to undersell it. It's a big thing that you do. You're in charge of. You've got this talent. I can't even imagine. Just the procedure, the aggro. Trying to. You just kind of strike me. You'd be like me, where it's like, right, I want to try and please everyone, but I can't. You kind of got that wrestling on your conscience, and it's just kind of like, I don't want to annoy this person, but I kind of want to lean towards this, or I don't want to let this person down. I'm guessing that's a burden that weighs heavy on a promoter's shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, had been a people pleaser before, and it's not easy. It's and especially because there's so much talent. And there's people that I just can't have on the show because there's too much talent, and it's not an easy job. But I wouldn't trade it. It's just something that kind of just has to be done. You just hold your breath, and you're like, oh, please let this work. Like.
Just got to hope that the goods outweigh the bads, kind of thing. And that's it. And obviously, being a fan, seeing what you guys are doing from this side of the perspective, it looks like there's a hell of a lot more good stuff than bad stuff. So you're obviously doing something right.
Okay. Yeah, it's again, I'm going to put it back on my team. I have a great team.
Well, and as I say, it's only going to get better. You're helping each other learn. It's an upward trajectory. And yeah, 2 months in February, we got the London show, we got the March show. Honestly, genuinely, I'm excited to see what you guys, are doing for the rest of the year. I think, the sky's the limit. And yeah, I'm also sort of I don't know, I'm just, again, not being biased. At some point, I would be generally torn. But Adonis Payne versus Vusyk, number one contenders match. That within the next 12 months, that's my wish. That's my hope. Anyway,
that sounds like an interesting match.
Whether Adonis would thank me for actually suggesting it, I don't know, but I think he'd be up for the challenge. I think those two guys. I think those two guys are like two of the brightest, potential stars. We've got a handful of talent, the guys like Kemper and other guys, but Adonis and Vusyk, two of my favourite guys. I think they're going to be holding numerous belts in the next 12 months.
I was just thinking, actually, in the next, in 5 years' time, if we were to have a replay of this conversation in 5 years' time and see where they are, that would be very interesting.
There'll be belt collectors over and over again. There'll be numerous pictures of them both on the internet with standing there, draped in about 10 belts and stuff like that, I reckon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. I think I've kind of kept you. Obviously, you're out and about as well, so I kind of trying to be very conscious of time here. I don't want to keep you for too long. We're getting close to the hour mark. We've just hit the hour mark. There we go. Obviously, I normally wrap up by giving people a chance, plug your socials, do what you do. Obviously, I'm going to tag you in everything anyway and whatever. But yeah, where can people keep an eye on what you're doing, what Tidal are doing? Do you want to plug it?
So on Instagram, it's Tad Shock. And obviously you got Tidal Wrestling on Twitter and on Instagram, Facebook. And yes, I'm on X or Twitter as well. So Shock and Tidal Wrestling.
Cool. As I said, I'm going to tag you in everything anyway. So it goes without saying, hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment. When you see the tweets or the Instas, obviously, big shout out to Ash, who runs the Work the Left Side Insta. He'll make sure everybody's tagged in stuff. If you're not following Tidal already, or Tidal already, hit like, follow, support, see what they're up to. Keep an eye out for the next show poster. See when it is. See where it is. Buy a ticket, and just if you've never been to a Tidal show before, A, why? B, sort it out, and trust me, you'll be going to a lot more after it. But no. Honestly, hand on heart, thank you so much. As I said, I'm very aware that you're out and about, so thank you for taking the time, to talk to me.
It's been a complete honor. It was great to meet you. I appreciate all the work that you do. It's really special when people really invest in you or spend time and share or follow, and you do that with me and you do that with other promotions. And I know you've mentioned Johnner's, giving you that support. But yeah, it's great to see you doing well, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, and I'm so glad that we didn't have to talk about what's it face. Because that put the sour taste in the mouth.
Oh, I would be amiss as well if I didn't say congratulations just to Tidal. Top 4 in the final of the Work the Left Side promotions of the year. Kudos to you guys for, you made the final 4. So I just want to shout that out and remind you of that, because obviously, you're doing something right.
Yeah, no, it was a complete honour to even be mentioned, let alone go into the final 4. Like, a shout out to all the fans, the people that have been going to shows, that have been on the shows, thank you to Team Tidal. It's not one person. Like, I never see it as that. It's all of us, and it'll always be all of us. So yeah, thank you. And all of us minus one
person. Well, 1.5, Chase is this close to getting kicked as well. He can be unmentioned at any point. I might even just edit any time, like I say, I'll just put a blurb on there, so it's fine.
Good, because no, I was having fun until all this interview was great until I'm looking forward to someone's teeth being kicked in by Artemis next week. Absolutely.
And that there is the soundbite. That is where we will wrap it up. So I will say thank you so much. Obviously, I've said it before: like, hit subscribe, share, comments. Keep your eyes peeled. A few more guests to be announced. Got a busy few months coming up. As always, thank you for watching. Help spread the word. And yeah, thank you so much. And we will see you again very soon. Goodbye.